Tons of people are saying to get out of Bitcoin, but is that actually true? Because we asked our community if we're in a bear market or if this is just a dip before we move higher, and 15% said we're in a full-blown bear market, whereas 84% still believe that this is just a bull market dip. And emails were just published by the House Oversight Committee revealing that Jeffrey Epstein funded the Bitcoin core development. Now, Michael Saylor just did this interview with Grant Cardone, and here's what he said.
How low do you think Bitcoin goes in this cycle right here? If it goes any lower, where does it go?
I think it's pretty stable where it is right now. Yeah. I mean, most of the liquidation selling is out of the system. I think we should rally from here.
And then where do you think it ends?
I don't believe in 4-year cycles anyway. I mean,
I never believed in the 4-year cycle.
I think that they might have had some credence in the first 12 years, but right now, the 4-year cycle is somehow based on the idea that 225 Bitcoin a day get taken out of the supply after the next halving. That's $22 million or $20 million of buying. Trust me, $20 million of buying. The market traded $100 billion yesterday. 20 million is not even a third order issue at this point.
Yeah.
The dynamics in the market are much more that, Jerome Powell thinks he wants to hold interest rates higher for longer, right? It's macroeconomics, it's political, it's structural. When IBIT's derivatives market went from 10 billion to 50 billion, it did that in 4 weeks. I mean, so those kind of things, when JP Morgan, offers 10 or 100 billion dollars of loans against Bitcoin, that will dwarf the 4-year cycle. It's the actions of the mega finance actors that are determining the future of Bitcoin right now, and all the fundamentals are good. So my advice to anybody is, first of all, if you make decisions with a 12-month or less time frame, you're a trader.
Yeah.
If you're a trader, you're a trader. I have zero advice for you.
Right.
I'm not a trader. I'm not a good trader.
Yeah.
I don't purport to be. I have zero advice for you. On the other hand, if you're an entrepreneur or if you're an investor, you should have a time frame of 4 years or longer, 4 to 10 years.
So if Bitcoin makes a new all-time high after this death cross, we might finally say that this 4-year cycle is broken. So if Saylor doesn't believe in the 4-year cycle, well, it has to prove itself because currently the 4-year cycle is still intact with the all-time high for Bitcoin. And with us heading into this death cross, it's very likely that Bitcoin experiences a rally here in the short term. But the real question is, will that rally get rejected and form a lower high to then go into an aggressive panic, fear, anger, capitulation phase that shakes everybody out of the market over the next year? Or will Bitcoin make a new all-time high? Stay tuned. We're going to get into the charts here to show you how to make money regardless of whatever happens. But this is probably some of the craziest news that we've seen thus far, revolving around the House Oversight Committee revealing that Jeffrey Epstein funded Bitcoin core development, shedding light on Epstein's connections and influence in the early Bitcoin creation days. And this is not fake news here. You can go to oversight.house.gov here and see that they published this just a few days ago, saying that Jeffrey Epstein assisted MIT Media Lab director Joki Ito in the funding of MIT's digital currency initiative. And at least some of the funding was directed towards Bitcoin's core development. Now, this reminds me of the argument that crypto skeptics say that Bitcoin's used for like sex trafficking and all sorts of illicit, illegal activities, and they're 100% right. But the problem with that argument is so is cash. Every new industry that grows quickly, especially crypto and blockchain, I mean, it's growing faster than the internet did, is going to attract people of all walks of life. It's going to attract people that want to do good with it. It's going to attract people that want to use it for drug trafficking, tax evasion, you name it. So this isn't a deal breaker here because Epstein was a massive investor. He had a lot of money. And by no means am I justifying that, saying that what he used his money for is okay here. But here's where this is crazy. These documents are saying that Epstein had a meeting with Satoshi, and this information has been deliberately suppressed. This guy Aaron Day is saying he knows a guy who wrote a book about this, and 3 weeks after it was published, he was arrested and threatened with life in prison. So this goes a lot deeper than people think, because in 1992, Donald Trump and Jeffrey Epstein appeared together at a party, and these famous pictures were taken of them two together, causing massive controversy because when Elon Musk and Donald Trump became friends, and then they had their little tiff there, well, Elon Musk went on X, and he started to post these things saying, time to drop a really big bomb. Donald Trump is in the Epstein files. This is the real reason they have not been made public yet. So at this stage, no one knows what to believe. Is Donald Trump really in the Epstein files, or was Elon Musk trolling to bait the left into wanting the release of the Epstein files, and Donald Trump just saying that they're fake, they're not real, so it would cause the left to want them to be released more? What's your guys' thoughts on all this? I'm really curious because we're about to see some truth bombs dropped over the next few weeks, closing out this year with a bang. Listen to this. Kevin O'Leary is now taking shots directly at Michael Saylor.
Michael Saylor is talking his book, all right? The guy sells stock and pref shares and debt and then buys Bitcoin with it. The stock trades at twice the value of the inherent Bitcoin. That smells like something that ain't going to work long term. Just saying. I like the guy, but it has nothing to do with strategic reserve of Bitcoin, which will never happen because we'll never get buy off on a bipartisan basis.
So there's been a lot of fear, uncertainty, and doubt and lies spread about Michael Saylor and MicroStrategy selling Bitcoin. But they're not selling Bitcoin. They've just been transferring Bitcoin, and on-chain data can prove this. So the rumors of Michael Saylor selling 47,000 Bitcoin could be the ultimate sign of a bottom here in the short term, and we could see a recovery back to the upside. Now, let's get into the charts and let's talk about Bitcoin's dominance, because right now we've seen this retracement for Bitcoin's dominance ever since the 8th of September, when Bitcoin's dominance rallied from 57%, and on that liquidation event, it rallied up 11% to 63. So if we just draw the fib retracement tool, technically that wick qualified as a 702 retracement, and then this one right here also 50%. So Bitcoin's dominance could be done rallying in the short term, and we could see a rotation here, because look at the stochastic RSI. It's at 90 and 88, and it's rolling over right here. So we are in overbought conditions on Bitcoin's dominance, which is why a lot of people are saying now is time to get out of Bitcoin. But if we go to the daily chart, you can see that this uptrend for Bitcoin's dominance is starting to break. You know, with these higher lows and these higher highs here, now Bitcoin's dominance is at 59% breaking to the downside. But this will be interesting to see, because this could be a big fake out with the stochastic RSI still in oversold conditions here. So eventually I would expect Bitcoin's dominance to make a reversal back to the upside, and the stochastic RSI to reverse as well. And then capital to rotate from altcoins that are outside the top 10 into Bitcoin, because you can clearly see here the stochastic RSI is at 91 and 83 for others market cap dominance. So once this tops out here, then I would expect that to rotate back over to Bitcoin, and for others market cap dominance to see another sell-off back to the downside in the short term, because every time that we get up here in overbought conditions on the relative strength index, you know, right now we're at 61, we're getting close to 70, and the stochastic RSI getting close to 100. Well, it reminds me of what happens back here, also back here after the short-term relief rally. So we've been going through a short-term relief rally for others dominance in a major downtrend here, and it's highly likely that others market cap dominance in this downtrend gets met with some major resistance here at this key point of confluence that we're at right now. And so I would expect this to roll back to the downside. And simultaneously, when that happens, I would expect that liquidity to rotate back over to Bitcoin's dominance because of where the stochastic RSI is at right now, and for us to see this turn up with the dominance recovering back to the upside. So based on that, that doesn't mean you should get out of Bitcoin if you want exposure to the crypto market. It actually means that Bitcoin is going to be safer than holding altcoins outside of the top 10. Now, Bitcoin's death cross is happening right now, and there's a high likelihood that it sends Bitcoin higher, because every time the 50 moving average slipped below the 200 moving average, Bitcoin rallied to new all-time highs. Now, this time around might not be a new all-time high. It's really a 50-50 coin flip here, but there's a high probability that Bitcoin rallies higher. And the real question is, will it get met with a lower high and we go into the bear market, or do we go to a new all-time high? Nobody knows the answer to that there, but the probabilities is what we watch, and then I'll show you how to make money regardless of whatever happens here in a little bit. Because looking back at September 2023, after this death cross, Bitcoin rallied 195%. In August of 2024, Bitcoin rallied 125%. In April of 2025, Bitcoin rallied 70%. So these relief rallies after the death cross have been less and less and less. So if we've gone from 195 to 125 to 70%, well, then the final one could be a lower high. With diminishing returns, a 35% rally would put Bitcoin near $130,000 by 2026.